And we are back. I've got a lot of talking to do, so I'm going to talk really, really fast. Again, I made 4 pages of notes for tonight to try and cram all this in. What we have been talking about, this has been chat number 165 on March the 15th. It was Hey, Nobody's Perfect. The extra credit is titled Calming the Corona Chaos. Because we've got it this week. We have got it this week. So it has been hashtag Corona Crazy all week. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. Even if you have not been infected, you have been affected. So again, don't care who you are. And I don't care where you live. If you're not infected, you are affected. So I hope everybody catches that. Not infected, you have been affected. And I hope none of you have been infected, but you all have been affected. So COVID-19 or coronavirus has people scared. It's got them curious. We all want to know more about it. We all want to know what's going on. It's even got people mad. You know, there are people mad about people hoarding toilet paper. There are people mad that it's either getting blown up in the news, or that it's not getting enough news coverage, or that too much has been done, or that not enough has been done. This is not the forum for that. I'm just saying, I just wanted to address that there have been a plethora of emotions that have come along with this. You know, there's been, people scared, hopeless, again, the curious, wanting to know, more about it. There's just been a whole myriad of emotions. But we watched Frozen 2 this morning. So after we had our virtual church today, we watched Frozen 2 with Alyssa. And, because when you've got to be, we didn't have to be, like, we're not quarantined and we don't have to stay away from everybody else. We're just trying to be socially responsible and limit, ourselves. So, like, when we had to stop and pick up something at Kroger this morning, something quick, we didn't unload everybody and take them in. Just me. I ran in, went straight to what I needed to get, got it, didn't breathe on anybody, didn't breathe anybody else's air, got back out. So, so we're trying to be socially responsible and not be around too many people in the next, few days. We do have to return to work though, because small businesses everywhere rely on people like us, and we are a small business. Okay, so this morning after virtual church, we watched Frozen 2 with Alyssa, because what better way to be self-quarantined for a day and a half than to have your 2-year-old in your loft, your 2-year-old grandchild in your loft. But on Frozen 2, one of the leading men in this movie, it's sure to be a Disney classic, I am sure. I'm positive it's going to be a Disney classic. But one of the leading men said something that was so profound that I had to go back. I had to go back and look it up because I wanted to remember what he said. So Elsa had just evacuated everyone from her kingdom to save them from an unknown and unexplainable threat. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, so it was something unknown and it was something unexplainable. And Elsa had to evacuate her entire kingdom, the entire kingdom. From this unknown threat. And then the children of Arendelle were poking strange ice formations into Olaf's chin. Yes, he was the leading man that I'm speaking of. But anyway, the children of Arendelle were poking weird little ice formations that have to do something with the movie. No spoiler alert, because I'm not going to tell you what happens. And one of the girls said, they were like, "Olaf, what are you doing?" And this is the smartest thing I have heard. And I know this movie was made way before the coronavirus or this whole, fiasco, whatever. But this is one of the smartest things I've ever said. Olaf said, and I quote, "This is called controlling what you can when things are out of control." So things were out of control. Elsa had unleashed, I'm not going to tell you what, again, in case you haven't seen it, but Elsa had unleashed something that she shouldn't have unleashed. You find out some interesting things about Elsa and Anna. Anyway, so she had unleashed some things. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know what was going to happen next. All they knew was they were gone out of their homes, didn't have time to take anything with them, just had to leave their homes. What are we going to do? What are we going to do next? And then Olaf says, "This is called controlling," and I wish I could do his voice, but anyway, he says, "This is called controlling what you can when things are out of control." Wow. I don't know that they meant it to be that, I don't know, just spoke to me. I don't know if that was the intention of this one because he had a lot of other funny ones. But anyway, wow, just wow, Olaf. Okay, so I'm going to be quoting that all week. Okay, so we're going to talk about things that we can control. This is perfect. We have 29 minutes left to talk about things that we can control. And how long I talk is something that's within our control. Sort of within our control. Okay, so thing number one. Okay, well, we can't control a lot about what's happening right now. But here are 3 ways that we can control what you can when things are out of control. So here are 3 words. What? Uh-oh. Dusty needs something. Hey, John. John.
Yeah.
Dusty needs something. Okay, sorry, I can't control him. That's one thing I can't control. Okay, so number 1, control your own environment. So this is the first thing that y'all can do. So just controlling your own environment. You cannot control what's going on outside. You cannot control what's going on in another country. You cannot control what's going on, across the planet. It doesn't matter what country you're in, but you can't control what's going on, across the planet. So, but you can control your own environment. So far, we've all been allowed to stay in our own homes, unless you got trapped somewhere, on a cruise ship or on, out of the country on vacation or whatever. And remember, as many Americans as, I'm American, obviously, as many Americans as have gotten trapped outside of our country trying to come back in, there are probably that many people from other countries that are trapped here in the United States that can't get back home either. So just keep that in mind as you're, whining about no toilet paper, that at least you're not trapped in another country. Okay, so controlling your own environment. First thing, just use normal cleaning supplies to clean your environment, your home. So we have survived flus, we've survived pneumonia, we've survived strep throat viruses, that's bacteria, but we have survived all kinds of other viruses. And the first thing you have to do is clean up your home. So you can do all these things trying to control the other people, outside people around you, but the first thing you got to do is to control your home. So you're bringing stuff back into your home. I'm not trying to panic anybody. Just stay with me. Just stay calm and stay with me. This is not a panic thing. But so using normal cleaning supplies and some common sense. So common sense means nothing weird off the internet, but hit all those areas of your home that you don't think about, things that you don't think to clean, like, and this isn't your home, but like your steering wheel. So you're touching stuff all day, and I don't know what happened with Vicky, but why is everybody saying, oh no? Hold on, is that something I need to go back and check on? See. Oh no, Vicky's 2 cousins were on the Grand Princess cruise ship. Eek! And hello, Susie. Oh goodness. Okay. So, but your steering wheel. So you're touching all this other stuff. You're at the grocery store, duking it out for toilet paper. Just kidding. You've touched other people. You've touched other pens. You had already touched other things before you found out about any of this. And clean your car steering wheel. Clean your glasses and your sunglasses. I mean, okay, how many times, I haven't touched them a whole lot tonight. Of course, now I'll need to. But your glasses. So you take your glasses and your sunglasses on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, and you've touched all these other things. So just give them a good, just a quick cleaning. Your dog's leash. So John just took off with Dusty. He is going to touch our door handle going out. He's going to touch the door handle going out of the fire escape. He is going to touch the door handle, potentially of the garage, to go in and out of the garage with him. And then he's going to touch the outside door handle coming in and the outside door handle, blah, 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 blah. So as I've been leaving, I have a thing of sanitizing wipes, and I am not a germaphobe, but I'm trying to do my part to help eradicate this. So I've been taking the cleaning wipes, and I personally, John's not doing it, but I have been cleaning all those door handles going in and out, even though they're not my door handles. I've still been cleaning them, but cleaning your dog's leash. So after he's touched all that, that's going to be on Dusty's leash. Okay. Then your car keys touch everything, and then you stick them in your purse. You stick them in your purse with your chapstick and with your gum and with your tissues that you're going to touch your face with. So clean your car keys. Your remote and your mouse, same things. You've touched all this other stuff in your office. You've touched other people's stuff, and even if you're not touching your face, then you go back and touch your remote and your keyboard, and then you touch your face or you eat some food at your desk. The inside of your refrigerator handle. So people are cleaning the outsides of their refrigerators, but what about the inside of the handle where you're grabbing it? And then last but not least, see my post about your countertops. So for those of you who know me pretty well, you know that we own a company that makes granite, quartz, marble, recycled glass, and soapstone and quartzite countertops. But this would work for any kind of countertops. You can use it on stainless steel. You can use it on laminate. You can use them on ceramic tile. Oh, Debbie just said something about the leash. I'll have to go back and read that. But anyway, ceramic tile, granite, quartz, marble, recycled glass, soapstone, and quartzite. So my post from yesterday about that, and see, I just touched my face, but my hands are clean. That talked about the coronavirus in your countertops. So if you are concerned about how to clean your countertops, go ahead and go back, and look at that post, because I talk about warm soapy water, just Blue Dawn dish detergent and warm soapy water. So we talk about that. We talk about a little bit of vinegar. We talk about a little bit of bleach. We talk about the wipes that are safe to use, all those kinds of things. If you are using, though, if you are using things like sponges to clean with, get rid of them. Just get rid of them. They're icky. They're gross anyway. So just chuck them. If you're using paper towels, I will recommend that you find someone. We have them. You can probably get them locally, or you can order them from us. Or if you're local, come see us. But something like the Swedish dishcloths. So I'm not just talking about those, trying to sell them. I would love to sell some, because we're gonna be hurting in all this too. But something like the Swedish dishcloths, those things are crazy. One Swedish dishcloth eliminates like 17 roll cloths, and I do not know why this says that we are recording. Okay, so I'm going to keep talking because for just a second it said that we were recording instead of live. So hopefully everybody's still okay. Yeah, so Debbie just said live feed interrupted. I think that we're back because it said it on mine too, which is weird, which is super weird that it would say that it was interrupted. Anyway, okay, but I guess a lot of people are talking about a lot of things, so I'm not the only one taking up bandwidth right now, if that's even the proper terminology. But things like Swedish dishcloths, don't waste paper towels. You can boil them. If you want to sanitize them, you can boil them. You can put them in water, again, and boil them, and then add just a capful of bleach if you want to. You can wash them in the dishwasher. You can wash them in your washing machine. You can do all of that. So that is, so you can do all of that with the Swedish dishcloths. But the sponges, get rid of them. They're harboring nasty things anyway. Anyway, okay. So go back and read that. Go back and you can read it. It's already posted on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. It is also posted on KCKitchenCenter.com. And yeah, so it's posted both places, and you can see my couple of very simple recipes for how to clean your countertops. And again, it works on any kind of countertops: granite, marble, quartz, recycled glass, quartzite, soapstone, laminate, ceramic tile, stainless steel, maybe butcher block. Don't know a lot about butcher block. Okay, and then the next thing, this one's going to be a tough one for some people. I want y'all to just pause and listen to me for just a second, okay? Some of us might need to consider going on what is called intentional maintenance. Okay, intentional maintenance means that you are not going to try and lose any weight during this time. You're just going to try and hang on for dear life and not gain any weight. Okay, and I know some of you just passed out, and there will be some of you later watching this on YouTube that'll go, she's crazy. She's lost her mind. This is exactly when I need to lose weight. This is when I need to lose weight. Okay, some of us, me included, this is going to be a stressful enough time. I can't go to my physical workshops. You can't go to your physical workshops. That's all well and good that we're standing here having this meeting right now. but I still need to go. I need to go weigh in front of someone else. Okay? For me, that's very important. And I'm just parched. Don't have a real cough. But right now, I'm just going to focus on staying the same, okay? I'm going to focus on not gaining weight. I'm going to focus on maintaining the current weight that I have. That is what intentional maintenance is. So intentional maintenance can be short-term and it can be long-term. When it's long-term intentional maintenance, that hopefully means that you have reached a goal and that you are going to you're trying to maintain your weight. You can do intermittent or, short-term intentional maintenance if you have something going on where you're not going to be able to, control your weight loss efforts. I think now's a good time for some people to consider that. So if you go all the way back, believe it or not, all the way back to chat number 80. So we were only in double digits then, but chat number 80, Orlando, Debbie, and I sit down and we talk about intentional maintenance. So we talk about what that looks like. We talk about what it means, and we talk about some very good reasons, some times in your life that it might be important for you to go on intentional maintenance. So some of us are going to need it because some of us are just going to be hanging on for dear life, okay? Some of us are just going to be like, and literally just trying to ride out this storm. Some of us are not going to have enough control over our food. I know a lot of restaurants and places where you would sit down and eat meals are going to be closing. They're going to be closing early. They're going to be limiting hours. That's things like that are going to happen. So we're going to have, some of us are just going to have to just take it easy and just try to hang on for dear life and try to maintain. Okay, but do go back to chat number 80. It's on YouTube. It's just youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg and then find chat number 80. And it's called Maintenance Moves. That is the name. Let's see. Let me make sure. It was called Maintenance Moves. Chat number 80. So go back and check it out. Okay, so you might want to go back and listen to it, watch it, whatever you need to do to think about that. Okay, this is the perfect amount of time, I think, to cover the rest of this. So the last thing, control your own surroundings. So again, we talked about you cannot control other people, you can't control other places, you can't control what they're going to do. I was very appreciative of the man at Kroger this morning who had a cough. Don't know whether or not he's actually sick, but he was wearing a face mask so that he wasn't coughing on the rest of us. So thank you, dude. That was very thoughtful of you to be wearing a mask so that you wouldn't spread your germs to everybody else. So I really do appreciate it. Of course, then I used a hand sanitizing wipe on the way out the door before I started touching everything else in the vehicle. Okay, but you can't control what is closed. So nursing homes are closed. Assisted living places are starting to close or have limited visitation. Most schools or a lot of schools, especially the schools around here, are closed. Most sporting events are closed, canceled. Things are normal, are closed and canceled. Concerts are closed. Most churches finally made a decision to close or have limited, people. Even our WW physical workshops canceled, at least for the next 2 weeks. But the following things are still open, and I just want you to keep this in mind. So the following things are still open. As far as I know, they're not closing anytime soon. Outside, I posted today that, let's see, what did I make the acronym? It was open until the scare is done everywhere. Yeah, open until the scare is done everywhere. So outside is still open, and it's still free, and it's still not limited, and there's still not a curfew on it unless there's a curfew in your area. But outside, I highly recommend it. Even if it's cold outside, go for a ride in your car. Take your dog for a walk. Dusty and I went for a long walk today. Karen and I are taking the girls to the zoo tomorrow because we can be outside. We can be away from everybody else. We can breathe fresh air, but outside, it's still open. Take advantage of it. Phone lines, they're still open. How about you call somebody? If you can't go see somebody, if you can't go hang out with them, if you can't go to a big group event, call somebody. Windows, they still open. If the weather's getting nicer in your area, open them. I opened our windows today. I let the bad air out. We don't have any bad air, but just in case, I'll let the bad air out and the good air in. So windows, open them. Radio stations, they're still there and kicking. Have your own concert. Have your own concert and sing. And since you're by yourself, nobody can hear you singing. So just have a good time. Live streaming is still open. So I talked to more people live streaming during our church service this morning than I do when we physically go to church. That was kind of strange. I do not say there were 80 something people. I said hello, hey, good morning, whatever, to probably 60 something people that I never ever would have seen, talked to, interacted with, whatever at church this morning. I'm not saying that I want to stay on virtual church for the rest of my life, but you can do it. It's still open. And the most important thing that's still open is YouTube videos, Facebook groups, live chats like this. There are other ways to hang out. You could go to somebody's video. There are lots of people. I would love it if you did it with mine, but there are other people who do, very informative WW videos, inspirational, videos. You could do a watch party. So even if you can't go gather with your other WW buddies, you could always have a watch party like on something like this. So if you wanted to have your own WW meeting without meeting and without having a lot of people together in the same place, you could have a watch party and do a virtual meeting. It's a perfect idea. Watch party. I suggest that too. I highly recommend that one too. Also, you cannot control how many rolls of toilet paper somebody buys. You cannot control how many eggs or baby wipes or how much chicken or how much beef or whatever. You can't control what your Kroger click list did and didn't have in it. You can't control that. So you can get mad, you can be frustrated, you can be irritated with somebody, you can make fun of somebody, but you still can't control it. You can't control that. But what you can do though is to keep some camping in your home supplies on hand, and I've got 12 minutes to show you what I'm talking about. We talk about camping a lot. This is going to work for camping. This is going to work for hurricanes when you don't have power or you have to stay in one place or you can't get outside. You don't know how long you're in. It can work for like the time, and if the power's out for a while, snowstorms and ice storms. If your power gets knocked out or if you're trapped or if you can't get out in the weather, it works for things like that. It works for wildfires. We had wildfires here, a couple of years ago. People couldn't get back to their homes. Some people couldn't leave their homes. It works for camping. Yeah, it works for rolling blackouts. If you've got areas, where you're prone to having rolling blackouts at certain times of the year. And yes, this will work for pandemics as well. So these are just a few things that you can do to get ready to camp in your own home. Or like we've even considered, if anything happened and we did have to, if we did have to self-quarantine, we would just get in the camper and go away from everybody else. So, okay, these are all things that you can either, first of all, they're shelf-stable. So everything with the exception of maybe two things. Oop, and I just realized I forgot to get one of them out. Hold on a second. Everything with the exception of one or two things is fairly shelf stable, has a pretty long life on it. Not going to expire anytime soon. Most of them do not have to be heated. Most of them do not have to have any special utensils to get them open or to consume them. If you got down to it, if you had to eat them with your fingers, you could, if it came to that. So I'm just going to show you a few of the things that it would be handy to keep around, in case of fire or hurricane or ice storm or pandemic. So let me show you a few of these. So first thing is the thing that I forgot to get out, these tuna packs. This was the first thing that I grabbed when they started talking about people, ravaging grocery stores and things, and clearing the shelves. So tuna packs, I think, are always a great idea. They are for the most part low calorie and low point. Most of the tuna packs that I buy the Starkist Tuna Creations. I have bought some of the salmon creations, and I have bought, John gets the bumblebee kind that actually has a little tiny spoon in the top. He takes those to work, but for the most part they are 1, 2, or 3 points. Most of them are in the 2-point range. There's a couple that are 3 and then a couple that are 1, but these two, for example, ranch flavor, and this one is a deli style tuna salad. So These last for a long time in the pantry, or if you want to go ahead and make yourself like a little disaster kit, like a grab and go, kit if you need to, those work great for that. If you're going to do some kind of fruit, don't stock up on bananas. Only buy as many bananas as you all will eat, as your family will eat in a few days. So I have to do that when we go to Orlando, when we go to Disney, which is closed right now. But anyway, I have to do that when we go to Disney. I only buy as many bananas as I think that we're going to eat over a few days because it never fails. They get gross, and then we don't end up eating them. So we'll make either a second trip back to Publix, or we just won't have bananas for the rest of the trip. But get something that's a little bit, more sturdy. Like clementines are the perfect fruit. They're the perfect, sturdy fruit because they don't bruise. You can drop them and you can still pick them up and eat them. They're super easy to peel. You don't require any special tools, don't require any knives or anything. And these will last for a long time in a backpack, in a tote bag, in a camping kit, whatever. They'll last for a long time. So I think, halos, cuties, whatever you want to call them, mandarin oranges, whatever. These are great. You don't have to keep them refrigerated. But again, no special equipment to get them open. Okay, things like canned vegetables. So I saw a lot of people grabbing frozen stuff. Frozen's good, but if one of these events, and I'm not saying that we are losing our power, so no one say, Kelly said that the pandemic means we're all going to lose our power. Kelly did not say that. What I'm saying is this is a general, broad overview. And yes, Barbara's exactly right. Please remember to wash your fruit before you put them up. If I find out that people not washing their clementines or their bananas before they eat them, if I find out that's what's spreading this, I'm going to come get y'all that don't wash your fruit first. Okay? But canned vegetables, so frozen's all well and good. But again, if it's a hurricane or if it's something else that causes the power to be out and you don't have any power, you're not going to have everything that's in your freezer. You're not going to want to open your freezer door. And canned things, you could literally just open a can of green beans and eat it. You do not have to cook them. Speaking of things that you don't have to cook, things like easy to open individual containers of things like Chef Boyardee or SpaghettiOs. Again, these were two of the first things that I grabbed when I heard that people were hoarding things because, I always keep these for just in case. This little tiny container of Chef Boyardee beef ravioli. It is 7 points for this entire container, which is a lot of food, but not a lot of food, a lot of points for not a whole lot of food. But you know what? Push come to shove, you don't have to heat it up. You could just eat it if you had to. Same thing with this, SpaghettiOs with meatballs. You do not. Then they both have a pop top lid. So no can opener, no power is required to get these open. You can get for 1 cup of SpaghettiOs with meatballs is 8 points. In a situation, if you had to have some food and you couldn't heat it up or didn't have anything to eat it out of, SpaghettiOs and SpaghettiOs. I got some, and Chef Boyardee. Perfect solutions, and also great for camping. Okay, y'all know this is a favorite for when we go camping. This and these. So Jif to go, we always have. We always have Jif to go. So Jif to go comes like this. They also have Jif to go naturals, and now some grocery stores have Jif to go crunchy. This whole packet right here, it's 8 points for the whole thing or 4 points for half of it. If you were desperate enough for food, then just don't worry about the 8 points, okay? But like when we're at Disney, we'll take this and bread and we'll use it and we'll split it, and I'll make us something to eat in line. But anyway, so we're talking about camping or survival food. 8 points is not bad for this whole thing. Plus it's portion controlled because you're just going to eat that much. So that's the Jif to go. And then the Ritz Fresh Stacks. So these, I went ahead and grabbed 2 boxes of them so that we would have them, for just in case. These are great with the tuna. They're great with the Jif to go. But they come in little stack packs like this. Do not be confused though. This little stack is not a serving. The stack is not one serving. But again, if you need this many crackers for whatever's going on in your life, then just eat them, okay? Let's do the intentional maintenance thing. 5 crackers is 3 points. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I do not know why it's an odd number, but there are 13 crackers in here, and that is probably like 8-ish points of crackers, 8 or 9 points of crackers. But those are great to keep because they're individually wrapped, so if you open one, the rest of them are not going to go stale. So I'm a big fan. Things like already made peanut butter crackers. It is 8 points for each of these. So already made peanut butter crackers are a great thing to keep around because again, you can just eat them real quick. Things with, if you notice, things with peanut butter, things with meat in them. If you're in a situation where you need some food, you're not going to have time necessarily to worry about, okay, is this the best use of my points? Because again, you may not have power. Not saying you're not going to have power with this pandemic, okay? I'm talking a broad thing. Hurricane, wildfire, whatever. Not saying we're not going to have power. Other snack bars like Junkless. These are great. I always keep these now because these are made out of real food. They're not made out of junk. That's why they're called Junkless. They are 4 and 5 points. They're yummy. They're super yummy. So that would be, a good treat. Be a good treat. Like if you're trapped in your house and can't go anywhere, those would be great for breakfast too. Little packs like this. These were 10 for $10. Goldfish, 55 goldfish. 55 goldfish is 4 smart points. So those are a great little thing to keep around, and they're in little individual containers. Don't know if you knew this or not, but cocoa, keep the Keurig pods, keep a couple of these Keurig pods in with your stuff, because if you can get to some power, or if you can boil some water, you can just cut the top or peel the top off of these and you can still make hot cocoa. You don't have to have a Keurig to do that. Plus they're in little individual containers and they're going to stay drier than the packs that you tear the top off of. Some kind of peanut powder. And I know I'm talking about peanut butter a lot, but you're going to need some protein, okay? But some kind of peanut powder so that you can either reconstitute it and make peanut butter, or you can add it to something else, your bananas, before they get too bad. Fruit, no sugar added fruit in water. These are perfect. Again, you don't have to have, no utensils. You do not have to have any utensils. John has eaten these out of the back of his truck with his finger before, okay? So you do not have to have any utensils. Let's talk quickly. If you're going to do any meal prep, get yourself something good. Like these are the meal prep Haven boxes that we sell at Casey Kitchen Center. Get yourself something good that you can freeze them, or you can use these to take some of these other things in so that they don't get crushed. Those will stack down nicely. You can get little things of pickles, little snacky type things. I would say always keep some kind of canned chicken or tuna, some other kind of protein, so that you can have some protein if you need it. This kind does require a can opener. We do have a can opener a manual can opener in our camper. If you can get to some water, things like little easy to make instant things like this, like Velveeta, everything you need is contained in here. You literally just need boiling water if you can get to boiling water. And last but not least, I have a minute to spare. I am a big fan of empty pod containers. So the kind of pods that John uses for our laundry come in this nice big container. And it's nice because it takes some skill to get the top off. So the top's not going to fall off, while you're driving around. I washed this in the dishwasher a couple of times after we used all of the laundry pods. And now I have a fairly watertight, it's not waterproof, but I have a fairly watertight. If it gets wet, if it gets rained on, it can get jostled around. It can go into a bigger container, but I use these. We use these to put our snacks in. And see, now notice it says camping snacks. So we use that to put our snacks in, and then we rotate them out every so often so that we've got fresh ones in there. But that's quick and easy to grab. So if somebody said, hey, you're going to get stuck in the car for a couple of days, or you're gonna have to go somewhere for a little while, whatever, you can just grab that and go. I have grabbed that before when I needed to just go, like if I had to take, didn't know I was gonna have Alyssa and just needed to have random snacks, I have picked that up. Okay, so that was a lot to talk about. I hope to goodness that did not cause anybody any panic. Again, I'm not saying we are not going to have power. I'm just saying you need to be prepared at all times. It's another reason to have a hashtag purse check. Please carry something in your purse right now, just in case. I'm not saying you're going to get trapped anywhere. I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but just in case. And Carla just said, this looks like my travel baseball bag. Any moms or dads who have kids on travel baseball, soccer, whatever teams, or you're going to tournaments, you all already know this stuff. You already know, because you get stuck at those things, you get stuck at those tournaments and can't go find any food. So you all already know, and you all probably already have some of these, plus more ideas. So, okay, this week, if I can encourage you to do anything, be normal. Don't touch your face unless you've washed your hands. Wash your hands. Sing the happy birthday song as many times as you can while you're washing your hands. Just be safe. Don't forget about each other. Try to do a virtual meeting with each other by doing, either a watch party or calling each other, or something like that. But let's stay in touch. Let's stay together. Everybody work together. We will get through this. I promise. This is not like one of those bad movies on TV. It's not The Walking Dead. We're going to get through this. We're not going to become zombies. So everybody stick together. Everybody try to stay sane. Try to take a deep breath. And again, I highly encourage you to go outside. Okay, so everybody have a great week. I will talk to you next week. And since you won't have had a meeting, since you will not have had a physical workshop next week, hopefully we can all be here together. So have a great night. Try to stay careful out there, and I will see you next week. Oh, and if you're watching this later on YouTube, please go ahead and watch the next video up here. If you have not subscribed yet, please click this button right here to subscribe and click the little bell so that you'll know when our next video is uploaded. And if you would like to order a Spreadshirt, you can get one right here. And we really do appreciate your support right now, because small businesses everywhere are really going to be hurting. So anyway, good night, everybody, and I will see you next week. Good night.